Hi, I'm going to show you how to use brackets within an Excel formula. Now, just before I show you the formula itself, I just want to sort of touch upon something which is a maths term, and it's called BODMAS. Now, BODMAS is something that I know I did in school, but I very promptly forgot, but it's quite important when it comes to Excel. B stands for bracket, O stands for orders, D stands for division, M stands for multiplication, A stands for addition, and S stands for subtraction. And what BODMAS is telling us is it's telling us the order that the calculations are going to go through. Now, just to make you aware, brackets, I mean, that makes sense. They're just brackets. That's what we're going to talk about. Division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction, that kind of makes sense. Orders, just in case you're not sure, that's things like square root, cube, squared values. So in this case, it's not something we're going to be too concerned about. Now, if we take a formula that I might want to do, and I'm going to do it in such a way that I completely ignore BODMAS, and we'll see what happens. Let's say every time we buy an apple, in this case it's £5 a pop, we have to buy a container for that apple. So in this case, this makes an apple actually £5.50. And 2 apples would be 11. So if I do my formula without any understanding of BODMAS, I would go for something like this. My unit price plus my container price. If I press enter, that's going to give me 5.5. Then I might say multiply the 5.5, well, in my head this is what I think is going to happen, by the 2. So I'm expecting this to come up with 11. Now if I press enter, can you see it says 6? And you think, what's going on there? Well, the reason is, because if we go by BODMAS, there's no brackets, there's no order, there's no division, but there's a multiplication. That's the first thing it does. Excel assigns a higher priority to this part of the formula than it does to this. So it won't go along and do this formula left to right. It won't say, whatever's in C4, 5 plus 5.5, which 0.5, which makes 5.5, then multiplied by 2. What it actually is doing, it's taking the 0.5 and the 2, so whatever's in D4 and B4, it's multiplying those two together to give me 1, and then, because that's multiplication, after that it's doing the addition. So it's then adding on the 5, so hence where we get the 6 come from when we're expecting an 11. Now, this is where brackets come in. So that's the natural order of things, and brackets are your control mechanism, your way of short-circuiting BODMAS, because if you put a bracket around this part of the formula, what that means is it tells Excel, I don't care that the plus is lower priority than the multiplication. I would like you to do that part of the formula first. So it's kind of like a get out of jail free card in terms of I need the running order of this formula to happen in a particular way. So now what will happen when I press enter, it's going to do whatever's in C4 plus D4, so 5 plus 0.5. So that's going to give me 5.5. And then it's going to multiply that by 2. So now if I press enter, can you see it gives me 11? So BODMAS might be something that's a little bit dusty in your knowledge when it comes to maths, because it usually is something that's taught at school. But with Excel, this is really, really important to remember. If you don't remember the acronym BODMAS, just think of it like this. Brackets come first, yeah? I mean, obviously after that, multiplication, addition, subtraction, they have a different running order. But if we just think of brackets coming first, and we use the brackets to force our calculations to do what we want, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be able to achieve what you want to do. But yeah, that's a little bit about how brackets work in a formula in Excel and understanding what BODMAS is and its relation to Excel.